just recording a tutorial on how to create this flower that you see here on the right hand side. So I've literally just set up an artboard about 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and I've filed and placed in this JPEG to the side of my screen just so I can see it. So I'm going to start with the red petal. So on the left hand side here you'll see the shapes panel. I'm going to hold down the shapes panel until I see the ellipse, and I'm going to click and drag like so. Okay, and as you can see, the colour at the moment is white, so I'm going to take the colour red that I see on the picture. Now you can equally just use a red from up here if you wish, but I'm going to actually use my eyedropper tool. I have this selected and I'm going to go right over here and just choose the red. Okay, so just the step, you select your shape, you go to your eyedropper tool and you click what you want to copy, the colour you want to copy. Okay, so I'm going to just resize that a little bit smaller. So the next tool I'm going to use is a special effect. So I select my shape, I go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Pucker and Bloat. Effect, Distort and Transform, and Pucker and Bloat. Okay, so at the moment it's set to 0. You can see if you go with Pucker, you get an effect like so, but I want to do a bloat. Something like I can go all the way to create something like so, but in my case I want to create something a little bit like this. So about 30 will work for me, and press OK. Now I want to make a copy of that shape now. So Control C and Control F. So because I did Control F, the shape has arrived completely on top of the other shape. So if I move away like that, you'll see that I've got two shapes. I'm going to undo that. So I'm just going to rotate from the edge here till I get it into place. I'm going to bring it a little bit further. Yeah, I'm happy. No, I'm not. Ever so slightly more. Yeah, so that's the shape that I've created. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create the yellow center for the flower. So I'm going to select my ellipse tool, and actually before that I'm going to get my eyedropper tool and just click on the yellow center of the existing flower. Now again, you can just choose a yellow from above here, and with the ellipse tool I'm going to click and drag like so. Okay, so I want to align all these into place, so I've selected all of the shapes, and I have my line panel on the top of the screen. If I don't have that, I can go to Window and Align, and that will bring up the Align options here. And I want to have horizontal align center, click once, and vertical align center. Now just always make sure that align to selection is selected. Okay. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is the stem. So I'm going to use a line tool, and I'm going to hold my shift key and click and drag so that I make a perfect straight line. I'm going to bring the stroke up, so I'm going to use the stroke options here, and I'm going to just keep making it bigger and bigger until I'm happy. So I'm kind of happy around about there. Okay, obviously the colour isn't ideal, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose a green, and then I want to right click and send it to the back. So right click, arrange, send to back. So you'll notice as well that it's got a kind of a square end on it, whereas in the picture it's a rounded end. So I can very easily change that by just selecting the shape, go to stroke and cap, and change the cap to round cap. Okay, so that's under stroke, cap, round cap. Okay, so the last step is just to create our leaves. So again, I'm going to use my ellipse tool. I want my fill to be green, but my stroke to be non-existent. So I'm going to swap around these colors here using this little arrow. Now I'm going to click and drag so I get like an ellipse shape, and I'm going to zoom in on this shape. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need to use my white arrow and select the top point. So I'm going to click once on the top point, and you'll see that I get these anchor points. Now if I move these anchor points around, they're kind of handles. I'll be able to edit my shape in whatever way I want, okay? But what I want to do is I want to point out the shape. So I'm going to bring this right in, back into the original anchor point. So just bring the handle right in, and the same here. Okay. Okay, so I have created the pointed shape. I've just zoomed right out, and I'm going to hover over the edge until I can kind of rotate it. Okay, like so. Now I want to mirror that, so the tool used is reflect. So I'm going to right click on the shape, and I'm going to transform and reflect. Right click, transform and reflect. Okay, now I want to make sure that I choose horizontal. Okay, and I want to make a copy. Sorry, vertical. Sorry, yeah, that was. I'll undo that there for a second, excuse me. Right click, transform, reflect, and I want to make sure I use horizontal. Apologies about that. And I make a copy. Okay, and I'm going to just drag this over to the left hand side here so that I have two shapes side by side. Okay, I'm going to select both shapes, click and click with my shift key, and I'm going to use Alt to drag. Now you can use copy and paste or whatever you want, but I'm just going to use Alt and drag downwards. So there you have it, that's our shape. Probably the stem in the original is a little bit longer. We can make it a little bit taller if we wish. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you.